This is actually the third year that the Alumni Association and the foundation staff have combined the awards brunch with our scholarship recognition event. It's really proven to be a wonderful continuum between the students who are scholarship recipients now and those who have gone on to do amazing things after they graduate that are now returning to be recognized by their alma mater. And many of the opportunities that all of these Northern students, both current and former, have were made possible by our other guests in the room with us today, our scholarship donors. We're pleased to honor these donors for the opportunities that they have created for the students who are with us this morning. Will the students who are here this morning who are scholarship recipients please stand? Thank you very much for joining us. I know you guys have busy lives, and you probably would all be home studying if you weren't here. The impact of our privately funded scholarships resonates far beyond their monetary value. These scholarships are essential to attracting and retaining students at Northern. Often they enable a student to realize personal and educational successes that would otherwise be impossible to achieve. It's impressive to see the way that those who care about Northern and its students step forward to assist in the costs of education, even when times are tough. Today, we can illustrate how both our donors and our students are positively influenced through such gifts. It's also our chance to publicly thank our alumni and friends who have supported so many Northern students through more than 250 private scholarships. Would all of the donors who are here today and have contributed to student scholarships please stand? And to you students, you've probably seen up here and around campus the "I'm here because of you" posters and signs that were designed by students and printed by the foundation. Well, it's the truth. The people in this room are the you that we reference. And we hope that you remember these generous alumni and friends who helped you when someday you are asked to help someone maybe at Northern. At this time, I would like to ask Tom Baldini to please come forward. In 1999, Tom established the Baldini Scholarship in Political Science. This fund provides financial support to students who are doing internships either nationally or at the state level. A number of students have taken advantage of this opportunity provided by Tom and his friends who support this fund. Tom, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Martha. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Martha asked me if I'd make some comments, and she said I had about a half hour. David, her husband, said he had the hook, and we all know David. Has no shame about coming up here and saying your time is up. So, but thank you very much for the opportunity to be here to say a few words and explain why the scholarship was established and the purpose for it. I was involved in education for many years, so I've always had an affinity for what are students going to do and how do we help students move on and achieve their career goals. When I was here at one time, David Haynes and Bob Kulishek, who was then department head, and David was, I think, doing some teaching and working for the university, they commented that they were having some difficulties with students and internships. Not that the opportunities weren't available, but it's just that the opportunities to earn money for internships and the public policies were changing significantly. Everyone was being strapped for money, government institutions, organizations, so on and so forth. And what was really happening, in effect, the students were asked to pay for the opportunity for a scholarship. And so the Department of Political Science was very active yet and aggressive in placing students in DC, Lansing, with nonprofits, or even in foreign countries. And the university and the department were keeping up their side of the process or the program, but the difficulty was, as I indicated, the students could not afford to give up an entire summer without earning some money to pay for the next year or help pay for the next year. So when NMU offered me the opportunity to be the commencement speaker, I think which was in the last century, some of us decided to use the occasion to raise some dollars for scholarships. And it was decided that it would not be the traditional scholarship, but rather let's raise some money and provide the opportunity for the political science department to use those funds to help students with their internship, regardless where it was. And that required, travel money and living expenses. The Tom Baldini Scholarship was established with a lot of help from my friends with this purpose in mind, and the political science department decided, obviously, to use this for that purpose. I think it's great that some of the students had the opportunity to experience some work in government, some institutions, some nonprofits. And these are really life-impacting experiences that they have. As we get older, we sometimes forget about them, but they really are important to students. I happen to be back here again as an adjunct professor for one semester with young kids. They are young. And it is interesting, again, to see those experiences. Students will return after these internships with the resolve that they really are making the right career decision. Or they'll say, I really don't think I'm going to like that, or maybe I should reevaluate. So it's it's very important that these decisions get made at an early point in life rather than when you're 40 or 50 years old. Northern and Martha's department and staff have done an excellent job of coordinating among the departments and the students on how to apply, how to access, and how to interact with the political science department. They remind the students also, which I think is interesting, to send a note or to contact you as an endower of a scholarship. This is not necessary, but it is nice to hear the experience and to hear from the students. Permit me to digress for a moment. I've told a story to some of the people. One day I'm at the old New York Deli, which some of you remember here in town, and I was sitting at the table, and a young man comes up to me and says, Mr. Baldini, he says, I've just been awarded your scholarship, and I wanted to introduce myself. And I said, oh, great. And I said, that's fantastic. And I said, well, thank you for doing that. And I said, do me a favor. And he said, what's that? And I said, when you come back at the end of the summer, call, let's have coffee. I'd like to hear how your experience is. And I said, where are you going? And what are you doing? He said, well, I'm going to Argentina. I said, fantastic. He left the table, and I spoke to my other friends at dinner that day, and I said, there's something wrong here. And they said, what? I said, he's going to Argentina, and I'm going to Bruce's Crossing this afternoon for a meeting. I said, nothing against Bruce's Crossing, but, there is an ambiance thing here. So, and he did. When he got back, he did contact me, and we had coffee, and it was interesting to listen to his experience and what he thought about it. It was quite fantastic. One of the interesting things about being a teacher is that you never really are sure what impact you have on a student's life. Doctors see sick people, and the vast majority of them leave their offices at some point feeling better. Lawyers see folks with problems and help them solve those problems. Builders help people construct homes, and they see the results of their hard work. One of the things that I discovered as a teacher is that you help students learn, but it may be years, if ever, that you know what impact you really had on that student's life. And I still attend high school class reunions of former students, and I'm always struck by the fact that someone will always come up to you after 20 or 30 years and remind you of something you said or something you did that made an impact or an impression on them. And I think many teachers understand that. And in this same way, I suppose we're hoping that this opportunity that students have with an internship will impact their lives in the same way. We may not know how, but to them personally, we're hoping that it does make an impact. And so thank you for the opportunity to be here to express those thoughts. And the nice thing about it, by the way, once you give the money, Martha and the university handle it all. And they sometimes harass you for more, but that's all right, and you sort of understand that. That's part of it. But thank you for the opportunity, and good luck. And congratulations to the scholarship winners.